Hey everybody, it's Josh. Just out here in the heat. It's pushing 100 degrees. It feels like, 107 or something. And there's no breeze, but I ate about 30 blackberries and found a bunch of crystals like this. Beautiful. I don't know if that shows up on there or not, but it is fantastic. I'm doing a couple videos before I go out of town here. I wanted to do one now on basically how people are corrupted in this society. Now, there are certain things I cannot say on YouTube, so I'm going to have to kind of, speak in innuendo or metaphors. But I often get alerts for Christian, like the Christian Reddit. I've warned people not to even go on before, but even though I'm not joined on it, I guess I've clicked on it enough times, they send me alerts for it. So there goes a dove. Seen a dove and a doe out here today. But this time it was a girl. She said she was 14 years old. She said she's been watching adult content, the thing that rhymes with corn, for over 5 years now, about 5 years, since she was 9 years old. She said she's addicted to it. And she wants to bring Jesus into her life. And of course, everybody's giving her scriptures to read and different things like that. And I told her, I was like, you need to go out and form that personal relationship with God. Because really, until I did, the scriptures meant nothing. There was no wisdom within them for me. And after I did, it was like a key that unlocked that wisdom. But nothing matters more than that intimate, personal relationship with God. And I've struggled with that same thing that she's talking about, as most, especially men, have. And it literally ruins you, and you don't even understand it. You don't even see how it ruins your life. It ruins your life with your wife. I'm going to sit here and eat some more blackberries while I'm doing this. It ruins these delicious blackberries. It ruins so much where you just become corrupted down to your soul. It's like letting the devil into your house and not even seeing him come in. Not even understanding what is going on. Looks like I'm staying around here because there's a ton of blackberries and I want to eat them. I'm going to take this book bag off. Talk to you all for a little bit. But, excuse me for a second. Too many rocks in my bag too. This is getting ridiculous. If you got a bad back, rock hounding is not a great hobby to get into, but it's what led me, as weird as it sounds, it's what led me to God. He was slowly leading me out into nature more and more. He gave me a reason to get excited about coming into nature, finding these crystals and rocks and minerals. And so I just was out here all the time, and I finally was ready to open up to him. It's not easy when you're 14 or in your 20s or even in your 30s. It's not easy to just reject your ego and your life and making choices for yourself. It's not easy to sacrifice. And until somebody's struggled enough to be broken, well, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it takes so much, such a strong person to do this. But if you pray, if you ask God to strengthen you, to cure your disbelief, He will. He will do literally anything except for go against His nature. He will not aid you in your sinning. So if you're asking Him for something, you're asking Him for wealth, you're asking Him for material things, you're asking Him for true love to come into your life, He will guide you where you need to be, not where you want to be. And that's what people don't understand. You have to get rid of all those expectations, all those assumptions that are inside of you. I just finished doing a video on how I had hoped I wasn't going to be a Christian. I was actually excited about it. I was like, all right, I've found, I had some enlightened moment, and now I'm finding the truth about religion and faith. It's just pure egotism, selfishness. I wanted to do all the things that I wanted to do so I could go on living the life that I wanted to live. And that life that I wanted to live was doing nothing good for me, nothing at all. As I said in the last video too, it is what broke me. It is what had me wanting my life to end. So I am reminded of that every time I try to assume something that God has not shown me. And I'm like, okay, if He tells me to go on a journey, I'm keeping an open mind. And not until He verifies something for me do I take it as that's the truth. Because He has verified things for me without a doubt. Without a doubt at all. But the fact that little children, a poor little 14-year-old, is in this mess. And I've heard other accounts of people, boys and girls, who started watching that stuff so early. And they think that's what love is. They think that's what connection is. They think that's what's cool. I think I was watching a video last night where Billie Eilish was talking, the singer. She was talking about how she started watching it really young, and she thought it would get her in cool with the guys. Like, she's like, oh, look, I'm cool with this too, It's disgusting. It really is. And the thing is, and I was watching Chris Rock do a stand-up bit about this, and he was talking honestly about it though. He was saying you get more and more disgusting as you go. So at first it's just like you want, some naked people. Oh, that's great. That's all I need. And then it's like you're getting into just dark territory. And they don't tell you whether, I believe what they said is the hub. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but they made a bunch of rules in states where you have to show your ID or something to get verified to be able to watch it, to be verified as an adult. They also wanted to verify all of the people in their videos were adults. And when they did this, that company left those states because they didn't want to do that. That just shows you how sick they are. And they're so rich that it doesn't matter. They can do almost anything they want. Because it has become a mainstream thing in our world. It has become like nothing. I didn't even think of anything of it. I never thought anything of it until God saved me. And it wasn't even until really God started showing me things like that. And then I was just like, I don't want to see that anymore. I don't need that in my life. None of us do. Our lives will be so much better if that is not in it. So much. Because if you're alone, I understand, it's hard. It's hard when you don't have someone there to fulfill your desires. But you know what? When you finally find somebody, or if you ever do find somebody, it's going to completely corrupt that relationship, because you'll have those expectations in there, and you'll keep pushing and pushing and pushing and wanting more, more, more. Just like with that adult content. I'm telling you all, we've got so many things in our strange, broken world that are going to just destroy people. Now, when Christ first came, he helped purify. Now, no, don't get me wrong. He didn't wipe out everything. Nothing's going to do that unless God wants to. There's a reason we need this evil in the world. There's a reason we have struggle in the world. You know, I was standing by a gnarled tree earlier, and I was just thinking about that. How that tree had been through so much trauma in its young life, but it helped it grow strong. And while it wasn't the most beautiful thing in the world, it was tough, and it was just an oak that could withstand anything as the other trees are coming down around it. And you have a tree that's never been exposed to a storm in its life and just snaps like a little twig. We have to strengthen our souls. We have to strengthen our souls against all of this corruption. I understand none of it really, you don't even think about it so often, so it's just, it is what it is. But you've got to understand, like, if you're watching that stuff, really, if you're watching that stuff at all, it's going, if it's not a problem now, it's going to be at some point. You don't dance with the devil and expect not for the devil not to try to steal your soul. If you think you're strong enough, that's fine. I mean, everybody's free to do what they want. But I'm telling you, God will help purify you, even if it's one drop at a time, like it was with me. There's things in this world that just do not need to be in your life. We're not of this world as Christians. We are in this world, but not of this world. And I hope you all understand that there is salvation, and there is peace, and there is joy and beauty outside of all these little dopamine hits, that adult content, alcohol, drugs, gambling. It doesn't matter, all this stuff. It is selling your soul one chip at a time, chipping away at it. Don't let yourself be corrupted completely. And if you feel like you already are, go open your heart to God. Go ask Christ to replace that corruption with his love. The Holy Spirit is the greatest gift ever given to mankind. The greatest. He is miraculous. That lust, that addiction, that everything that you have, He will show you ways to just not even want it anymore. You know, I talked to my buddy Jesse. He was telling me he quit smoking at 7 a.m. the other day. Hopefully he's still holding strong, but there's things in your life that you're going to be shown are a problem. Some are going to be more pressing than others. And you don't want to probably do everything at once. It's a process. It's a building a relationship with Christ. It's similar to building a relationship with a person. You have to work on it. But it's more that has to understand he's trying to help you. And you're trying to bitterly cling to your old life and your old addictions and your old desires. It's not going to be easy. If any of you have problems like this, then please, if going out and praying, if you can't open your heart completely, then try to seek some kind of counsel with someone. Because it will tear you apart inside. It will turn you into someone who you don't recognize. I'll talk about, I don't remember the name of this actor. He's a big dude, big black guy. He was talking about his addiction to adult material. And he said he kept pushing it further and further, just like I was talking about, into just weird stuff. And eventually, he was like, it's not a problem. And then eventually he went to a massage parlor and cheated on his wife for the first time. And finally, he hid it from his wife for a long time, and finally he admitted it to her, because I guess she was figuring it out. And he's like, yeah, it happened, that was in the past, whatever. Like it wasn't even a big deal. And his wife was like, she didn't care about the money or the fame. She was like, I'm out of here, man. Like, I'm out of here. And it is something that breaks people completely. It breaks marriages. It breaks relationships. It breaks your soul. It's not something new, even though this is something new. The Romans and the Greeks and everyone had it probably just as bad, if not worse. They were just disgusting people. And they did not care about any sexual deviancy, sexual immorality. We have to be better than them. We already know the truth of Christ. We have no excuse. Okay, everybody, I'm going to go and eat some more blackberries and head on home. I love you all. Obviously, you're probably going to be watching these while I'm already on vacation or already on my trip to my parents. But if I can do a video or two, I will. But if not, then I will see you all as soon as I get back. I hope you all have a great week, and I will try to check comments, but I'm not going to be able to respond like I usually do. I'll be able to respond at night somewhat. And if it's something very important, I will try to see it and try to get responses to you. But, I got to spend time with my family, guys. It's what's very important to me right now. I love you all. We'll see you soon. God bless.